Olá, boa tarde. Boas-vindas ao 36º Quinofórum, Festival Internacional de Curtas-Metragens. A gente está aqui numa faixa de horário que a gente separou para atividades de indústria, para a gente poder falar e pensar o fazer cinematográfico, né? A gente tem aqui uma mesa sobre internacionalização do curta-metragem. A gente chamou o Vitor Hugo Pires, da Especine, para mediar, que gentilmente aceitou. Queria chamar ele para a mesa. E eu queria chamar também os nossos palestrantes, o Calmin Borel, que é do Festival de Clermont-Ferrand, o Jaime E, Manrique, que é do Bogoshorts, e o Pedro Gonçalves Ribeiro, que representou o IndieLisboa. Vou passar a palavra para eles.
Obrigado, Márcio. So we'll have this talk in English, so our guests can understand us. I'm Victor. I'm from Especine's Observatory, and I'm here to mediate our table with about internationalization. And I would like to start asking Calmin to talk a little about yourself and the festival and your work.
Hello. It's a real pleasure to be here with you, and it's of course a very special festival, and we are coming to Curtas for many years, and some of my colleagues really helped the very beginning of the festival, and of course we are all very sad but very happy to see the wonderful team that is really to keep on all the good work that Zita have made for many years, and so it's yeah, I'm super happy to be here. So my name is Calmin Borel. I'm in charge of the lab competition for the Clermont-Ferrand Short Film Festival. I'm also in the International Selection Committee. Clermont-Ferrand is quite a big old one. It was the 47th edition this year, and we were very lucky to break our records. We have sold 172,000 tickets for 8 days of festival. So it's not to brag about that, it's just to say that we are so happy and thankful with the audience that we have to be that curious and to come every year and to have such an appetite to watch films from all around the world. And so, yeah, that was, even for me, a surprise to see so many people coming to Clermont. And Clermont, so we do screen a lot of films, like 500, not only in competition, but all in the retrospectives and special programs. And there is like between 70 and 75 programs, all included. And some of them, like the competition, are screened 8 times. So that's a lot, but we really need to have all those screenings to feel the appetite of our audience. So that's really cool. So we have screenings, but there is also a market in Clermont, and the industry part is very important for us, because a lot of people say that there is no money in short films. That's true, but we can talk about that a little more. And we have in this market a lot of TV buyers, producers, distributors that are attending the market. There is some special screenings, masterclass. There is a lot of things happening. So that's really a wonderful place to, if you have a new project or if you want to learn how it works on the, I don't know, I've made a film and what I'm going to do with my film in festivals, what's the do and the don't, where it's, yeah, it can happen here. So if you can make it to Clermont, that can be really cool. But if you cannot, I'm here. So feel free. If you have any questions, we are really here to help you with the process. I don't know what else to say. Maybe that's enough for a start. You agree? Okay.
So now I will ask Jaime to talk about the festival, his work, and you have a presentation, right?
Hello, and good afternoon. I'm very happy to be here, and thank you very much to Marcio and Denise for the opportunity to stay here in Kino Forum. Kino Forum is, for me and for Bogoshorts, very important in our process for Sostinka Festival for Latin America. And was my first time maybe 10 years ago here in Kino Forum, and was very inspiring for many of our activities at this moment. And I am Jaime Manrique. I am the founder and director of Bogoshorts. And I would like to present some about what is Bogoshorts, because Bogoshorts is not only a festival. In some moments, I think that the festival is the less important for us. It's everything about how to try to build a universe for to help the filmmakers in this way of internationalization, but in other ways for his short films, and not for Colombia, only for Colombian short films. It's for Latin American short films. This is our importance. And we have these four special process. One is the festival, that is Bogota Short Film Festival. The other one is a movement. It's a movement for exhibition, distribution agency for only for Latin American short films, and a special space for education in some ways. Very fast. This is symbol, and we have a lot of symbols. This is important for us. I return because one of our symbols is this one, is the raise the short finger, because it's the short of the hand, and when you raise this short finger is because you are in love with short. This is the idea of love short films, and this picture is our opening night with 1,700 people raise the hand for the love for shorts in Bogota. And the connection is with Saint Lucia. This is a virgin, blind virgin. It's a virgin who loses his eyes, her eyes, in an act of faith, because we believe in faith. Faith is everything about the short film, because it's the faith in the future, and is the reason for to have some hope in the possibility of change the cinema for the future and for our country. And this not only a festival, it's a movement. We try to work all the year in that direction. And first, the movement is a movement for Bogota, for Colombia, and for the rest of the world, trying to have every week one exhibition in some part of the world with Colombian and Latin American short films. The last week we have something in Peru and other in Colombia. The next week we have something in Taiwan, another one in Medellin, and it's all the time trying to build some publics for the short films. This movement never stopped, and we have a distribution agency, like I say, only for Latin American short film. We have a catalog with maybe 300 short films for distribution on different windows. And we have a lineup only with 10 films to build the strategy for film festivals. And we have this very new and very recent special program for education, but not the same ways and the same fields like a script, direction, production. This is education for distribution, communication, and marketing for the short films and for the filmmakers and producers. And the festival is in December. It's a festival qualifying for Oscar and Goya. But for me, this is important for this space. We have a market, the Bogoshorts Film Market. It's a market designed to improve the producers and in general the filmmakers in the relation with the industry. And we have 4 principles. Sorry, because we have this in Spanish, but maybe you can understand. Is first, the 4 more important ideas for us is the short formats is an industry, and it's a possibility to give some money from them. It's not only for to begin and the process for to reach the feature film. The short formats is an industry. Second, the co-production is absolutely necessary in Latin America, and we need to speak more clear about that, and we need to have more connections between our countries. 3, we need more professionals in distribution. This is very important because the auto-distribution or self-distribution is a good idea at the beginning, but it's not the best idea for the future of shorts because, okay, maybe we can talk later about that. And the distribution is an investment. We need money for distribution, and it's an investment for the careers. But maybe the producers don't have this in mind, and it's very important in the development of the market. We have different activities. This is a price of $50,000 with 20 companies for the first short film for a group of people don't have any professional short film in his career. This is a process and in the relation with Clermont-Ferrand for the incubator. This is for the people who has one short film, professional short film, and have a new project. And this is a space open for Iberoamerica, Latin America, and Spain to find co-production. And this is the same, but only for animation. Flickbook BFM. We have a space for connection between the filmmakers and the festivals. We have a space for some masterclass and different ways to understand more the industry. We have a video library with maybe 800 short films, very new for buyers in the festival, and this is the next edition of the festival. And for the market, we have open now until 15th of September our submissions for new projects. And that's all. And maybe in the next minute we can talk about many things. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaime. So now Pedro will talk about his work and the festival in IndieLisboa. Please, Pedro.
Yeah. So I'm so brasileiro, but I'm gonna speak in English. Yeah, so I'm Pedro. I'm the short films coordinator at IndieLisboa, also program at Festival do Rio, Rio de Janeiro. But only for future films, so this is not the case here. So for Indie, I'm just gonna wait for the presentation. Yeah. So it is not as big as Clermont or Bogoshorts, but it's the main film festival in Portugal in terms of numbers. We are now heading. Tá falhando. We're now heading for a 23rd edition next year. India happens also every year. India. India happens every year, end of April, beginning of May, all around Lisboa, and it is it's also different from Clermont-Ferrand, Kinoforum, and Bogoshorts. It's a festival that also has feature films. This is really nice because it happens a lot that someone goes to Indy for the first time with a short film, and then years later, when they have their first feature, they come back for the festival. So it's really nice because we can follow their careers. As I was saying, it's the biggest film festival in Portugal. We have per year around 8,000 submissions or short films. This year we had around 35,000 spectators. And it's a festival that is divided with 16 sections or activities. We have 7 competitions, and we have also the Audience Award for Best Short Film, Best Feature Film, and Best Short Indie Junior. Indie Junior is our section for the young audience. I'm gonna talk. So I'm not gonna talk about all the sections because there are things here only for feature films or only for European films. I'm just going to talk about 4 specific sections that could be interesting for you. The first one, of course, the international competition. Every year we have around 30 to 35 short films of all genders. The maximum length is 59 minutes. This could be quite difficult to understand as a short film, but we understand as well the medium length as a short film. And the international competition is more like a window for us that could discover new talent. So we only accept films, short films in this case, of filmmakers that are doing their up to their third professional short film. So if you made a film on school, we will not consider it as a professional one. So for example, if you made 2 films in school and you're doing your third now, professional, out of school, you'll still be considered for the international competition. Yeah, but so we accept films made in school as well. When you do your first feature or your 4th professional short film, you change to another competition that is called Silvestre. It follows the same idea of the international competition. It's also only for international short films, but we don't accept films made at school. And it's more because when you do your 4th professional short film or you have your first feature, eventually you have more like your voice is more established. You have you can experiment more things. So usually this competition is for more established authors or more experimental works. Then we have as well Mouth of Madness, Boca do Inferno. So if you submit your film to IndieLisboa in Film Freeway, I'm going to talk about this in a minute, you're not going to find Boca do Inferno as an option to submit. You're going to submit your film as a short film international production. And then when you receive your film, we're going to see it as a film of gender, like horror or comedy or whatever. And we're going to put it internally to the Mouth of Madness. So this is our section for films that could make you feel something more. It's less other films and more like gender films. And then we have Indie Junior, as I was saying, that it's a section for the young audience. It's not a competitive section. Mouth of Madness isn't either. but here you can have your own specific audience award for Indie Junior. One thing about Indie Junior as well is that Indie Junior in Lisboa is a section of is a section. It's a section for. It's a section inside the festival, and it's not competitive. We have around 40 to 45 short films, but then it's a new thing. We're gonna go now for 10th year in Porto, also in Portugal, but another city. Every January we have an Indie Junior Film Festival. That it's a festival only for the young audience. We have films that goes to up to the audience of 17-year-old, and it's a more complete festival for the young audience. So in Lisboa, it's a section just like the other ones that I was saying, and then in Porto you have a specific one. This is something really nice because if you submit your film to IndieLisboa for Indie Junior in Lisboa, your film get accepted. It's quite usual that we will select your film to Porto as well. So your film will travel to both festivals. It's like dois em um. So yeah, it's quite cool. And then of course we also have a market. It's called Industry. We have several activities in the industry in Lisbon, but I'm going to talk specifically about the IndieLisboa lab. So it's something new. We started, I think, 3 or 4 years ago, and it's of course a laboratory of development for feature films. From this year now, it was the first year now in May that we started a partnership with Projeto Paradiso. So this could be interesting for you because every year now we're going to select one Brazilian participant to come to Lisbon and participate of the laboratory. And if you get inside the laboratory, you also be part of the Rede Paradiso de Talentos. So this is also really nice. I'm going to talk about this at the end as well. But the submissions for the industry is different from the films. So if you go to our Film Freeway, you're going to see short film international production, short film Indie Junior, whatever. You're not going to see the industry there. This is another section. We're going to do it apart. You have to follow us on Instagram or check our website to know how to send your project. So this is for people that reside in Brazil and would like to participate. I think that the first Brazilian project we had this year was from Yasmin Tainá. I'm not sure if she's here in Kino Forum, but anyway, a great opportunity for you. And also, Indie is part of several networks along with other film festivals in Europe. We are part of Smart 7. It's for feature films, and it's a group of 7 film festivals in Europe. And when your film gets selected there, it travels to all the film festivals, and then you have a competition and a jury. It's not for short films. For short films, something that could be interested is This Is Short. That is our streaming platform. It's a streaming platform curated by Indie and for other 5 film festivals. Oberhausen in Germany, 25 frames per second in Croatia, Vienna Shorts in Austria, Go Short in the Netherlands. There's one more. I always forget. Anyway, there's one more. And we do several programs around the year for the streaming platform. You can submit your film for This Is Short by yourself. You don't need to be selected in none of these festivals to get your film there. But it's, of course, easier if you get selected to Indie or for any other festivals that I mentioned. It is easier to get into the platform. It's a still ongoing project, still quite early. We're still trying to understand our audience. But something that I have to say as well, unfortunately, as Indie is funded by European funds, we must have a certain percentage of European short films selected. Same thing for the selection in Indie. I believe same thing for Clermont-Ferrand as well, and for many other festivals in Europe. Because of these funds, we must have 50% of European films in our selection. So it's really difficult for us, especially for me as Brazilian, that sometimes we have to leave films that we absolutely love, that are not European, to open space for an European one. So yeah, not ideal, but you have to know this. If you don't get selected, of course, this doesn't mean that your film is not good or whatever. There are a lot of constraints and things that could, yeah. I'm gonna show a video so you can try to understand a little bit the vibe of indie, and I think that's it. Oh no, wait. My cat.
They have this incredible club called Mercadо. It's techno music. It's techno music.
E isto é que é a qualidade do IndieLisboa, de nos trazer filmes que nós não conhecemos.
Welcome.
What a ride.
Hello, Maria.
Hello.
Eu acho que o público vai gostar. Venham ao cinema.
Come on, dance with me, move your body, dance with me, move your body, dance with me, move your body, dance with me, move your body.
It's a very young festival, and we have a lot of great parties as well. Yeah. So this is just like a reminder. The call for entries is now open until late December. We are very generous with waivers. We understand the conditions of other countries and the currency, euro, etc. So if you want to send your film, send me an email. Don't send an email general for all the other festivals. Like send, write an email for Indie explaining why you are requesting a waiver, and we'll likely give you a waiver with pleasure. The submissions are, as I said, are through Film Freeway, except the industry. You can also follow us on Instagram. Here's our website. And for this short is also here. If you need any other information, this is my email. And I think that's it. Obrigado.
Thank you, Pedro. So now we will start our debate. I would like to start with the career of a short film on the festivals. So we were talking back there about the importance of connections and how to think your film since the beginning to reach the festivals. We are here with 3 of the most important short film festivals around the world. So I would like to start with Calmin to talk about how our filmmakers can think the festival careers for their films, and then Jaime and Pedro can comment too.
We do receive like between 8 and 10,000 films every year. So yeah, that's a lot. But still, it was a try. And from Brazil, it's, I think as we are talking, I think we have received like 160 something. We hope for more, so please submit your film if you're ready to go. Submission are open until I think the end of October. So we are on the Short Film Depot platform, not on Film Freeway, but there's a few platforms that you can use. Submission. You can ask for waivers, but we don't. We are not very kind on that. Yeah. We are the bad guys, I think. But if you are a distributor or a producer, and if you do submit more than one film, you can have like 50% or something like that. So, yeah, find a way. But or send me an email. You can do that also. I'm a nice guy too, but I'm not allowed to say it too loud. So. It's the maximum duration is 40 minutes for Clermont, and yeah. What else? We don't ask for premiere. That's something very important for you to know, because and I think we will talk about that all together. But when you start to submit your film in festival, you have to at least to be aware of the premiere issue, because it can not kill the career of your film, but you have to choose wisely where to start. And it could be tricky to find your way, because there is so many film festivals all around the world. So you need to know a little where you want to go, and to check the website of the festivals, or to the platform that we are using, like Short Film Depot, Film Freeway. They are pretty good platforms, and there's a lot of festivals using it. So it's a good way to avoid bad festivals using those kind of platforms. And yeah, what else I can say? It definitely worth a try to submit your film to Clermont, because even if you're not selected, there's the market, and a lot of professionals are coming to Clermont. We do have like 500 representatives from other festivals that are coming to Clermont to find films, and not only films in competition. So yeah, give it a try.
Okay. In Bogoshorts, we are looking for short films under 30 minutes in all the genres: fiction, animation, experimental, documentary, and we have a competition, international too, with video clips. We aren't generous with the fee waivers, and because I think that maybe it's very, and maybe we can try to talk about that at the beginning of this conversation, is somebody speak us, send an email. Bogoshorts is very important to me, and I would like to show my short film in your festival, but I don't have money. And you don't have $5 for the submit your short film for the festival, but it's the most important short film festival for you. Maybe you don't have a strategy. Because maybe the answer for about that is because we need to send to many festivals. Okay, maybe you don't have a strategy, and maybe you don't need to send to Bogoshorts, because Bogoshorts is one of the other 500 film festivals you need to send. And for that reason, for us, it's important to try to study which is this some application for fee waiver, which is your motivation. What do you know about the festival? Do you have reasons for to try to be part of the competition of Bogoshorts, or because it's only very interesting to me? It's the most important film festival in whatever, Colombia, Latin America, whatever. This is not arguments. Maybe one of the things is important for us is to understand if you have some criteria for to choose the festival where you apply. And if you have some strategy, maybe you have a connection with a distributor. And for us, this is important. And other idea that I read all the time is because I am a student. Okay, 80% of short films is made by students. And we don't make a separation, a division between students and professionals, because it's the short films, the space for the freedom. If you are a student, very good. If not, very good. This is not important. The important is the short film. And for us, is the connection between the market and the festival is very clear and very near in the process of selection. If we find some project that makes something like a career inside the festival, for us it's important to connect with the competition. We try to don't have more than 1 or 2 short films per country in the international competition. But this is important. We have a competition only for Brazilian short films, because for us it's very important. And one of our competition is connection. This is a connection, language connections and territorial connections. And in this Ibero-American competition that is official in Bogoshorts, we have Latin America, Brazil, Spain, and Latinos in United States. Because it's a dialogue about culture and about which is the new possibilities or connection for a co-production. And one of the things in this relation is the idea of co-production for us is very important. I like to say that is in feature films, when you make a co-production in a feature film, it's like a marriage, no? And maybe this marriage could be a very bad marriage, or good, maybe. But maybe we need more, I don't know, boyfriends, girlfriends, one-night stands in short films. Because you need to prove what happened in this relation is an intellectual relation, is an economical relation, is a put together point of view. And maybe it's better if at the beginning you try to know the people with different countries in the real process of to have a co-production. And I don't know if I have all the answers about that, but...
Yeah, I'm gonna just comment a little bit on what Jaime said about the contact. Like when I mentioned that you could write us asking for a waiver and doing everything like that. I see it a lot. I'm also a director, so I'm also on the other side. I understand. I started sending my first films to all the film festivals that I saw on Film Freeway. I didn't have a strategy at all. I didn't know the festivals. And we have to talk about it. We don't learn it at school. We don't learn it at school here in Brazil. We don't learn it at school in France. We don't learn it at school anywhere. Of course, there are few schools that has a strategy for the career of the films, but mainly, in talking with friends and talking with them, we can say that the schools are not prepared to to teach you how to distribute your film, and to have this market vision. I feel talking with some friends in Brazil that it's even a little bit a crime of talking a film, of seeing sometimes a film in school as a product. But we have to talk about this. No one is doing films here to not be seen. We want our films to be seen and to be distributed and to travel. So we have to have this vision. And of course, as a filmmaker, in theory, this is not our job to distribute our films and to do this job. In theory, like, the best idea would be to have a distributor or a producer that has knowledge of it and leave your film with them so they can do their job. But this is not the reality, especially in Brazil as well. So what we're gonna do? Yesterday we were talking about ideas of how we could change the scenario. I think we're gonna talk a little bit about this here, but I think meanwhile we don't have a school, or we don't have a solid way of learning the festivals and distribution. What can we do? How do we learn? How do I understand where my short film can go? I personally started going to the websites of the film festivals, starting learning and checking their selection and trying to understand. Studying, you have to study, and because strategy, and of course, IndieLisboa, by the way, I didn't mention, requires premiere. It has to be at least a Portuguese premiere, so it can be world premiere, international premiere, European premiere, or Portuguese premiere. This is something that I understand the premieres, why we require this. I understand why festivals do this. Of course, this is not ideal, but anyway, nothing's perfect. But then, how do you build this strategy? And you have to study. You have to learn which ones are the main film festivals, and where your film could premiere. Where can it go, and where can it go after? Do you have a plan B? It's not trivial. It's, as I said, ideally it's not your job as a filmmaker to do that. But you have to start somewhere, and I think we're gonna use the space here to try to find ways or be just utopic about ideas of how this could get better. Personally, I think that every film school should have classes of distribution, communication, and marketing for films, and also should have us responsible for sending and distributing the short film. Some schools does that. I've learned yesterday that USP has someone who's in charge of it. I know that La Femme is in France as well. Elias Querejetas in Escola in San Sebastian. There are a few schools that could try try helping in this sense. But the majority of film schools, universities with cinema courses, they don't have this. And also they don't have teachers with experience in market and industry. Teachers that don't have this vision. We have to change this. If there are any teachers here, please, let's talk about this. Otherwise your film is not going to travel. So, I don't know. We're going to talk a little bit more about it, I think.
Thank you, guys. So now I would like to change the subject to actually Pedro brought some of the subjects we were talking now and after. So I would like to bring the business side of the short film. So every festival here has a market. So I would like to ask you, we were talking earlier, maybe Jaime can start, about the difficulties about reaching the sales agents, reaching the distributors, and how we must be at the market to reach them, and how we need them to be at the market. So I would like all of you to talk a little about the markets.
Okay, maybe we need to make the difference between the something like a cultural distribution is for to put the short films in film festival and to develop the strategy. And in that case, you need to pay for this distribution. You don't find some big sales agents that choose your short film. Maybe some part of the process is choose, but it's part and part. You need to pay and you need to be chosen for this distributor. And another part is to have, in general, the short film in the process of distribution, not only for festival, is for other windows for to recover money. And maybe the same company don't make all the things. One of the problems is we are talking about that is very tricky because what is the most or the ideal possibility to find a good sales agent to be selected in a very good short film festival for to some sales agent see your short film and choose. But which is the best way for to be selected in a good film festival to have a sales agent? No, is what is first chicken or egg? What is first way to break this tricky movement? And for me, is how the producer, more than the filmmakers, but I understand that at the beginning, the filmmaker is the producer too, but how the producer have more connections with the market without shorts is because all the people, the film festival is important when they have a short film. But before a short film, you don't have in mind the connection with the festivals and with the market. Maybe some people have that, but it's necessary to build more relations at the beginning of his career, not only with a short film festival in your hands, because we need more connections. And these connections could be the real possibility to break this difficult process of to find a distributor. For me, the other thing is how try to think in the professionalization of the process. How to find professionals for distribution. Because it's very interesting if you have some project of short films and do you need a DP, a photographer, yes? Or some person for sound or for editing. If you don't have this person, you don't resolve the situation. I made that. Okay, I made the photography of my film. Or I am the actor of my film. But in distribution, this is the response. I don't have a distributor. I distribute my film. Why? If you are not distributor, you are a producer or a filmmaker. And all the knowledge about that for the future could be lost because it's only for a process. It's only for the moment when you have some English for to need to put your short film in some film festival, but it's not the real work that you are interested to do. And maybe we need to break that. And it's very difficult in Latin America because we don't have short film festival distributors, only for shorts specialized in that direction. We have some friends to make distribution for feature films and maybe have some ideas, but many things works very differently in the two worlds. And if somebody starts to distribute short films, in some years say, okay, I understand what happened with the shorts. I am not interested because this is not a business. I moved to the feature films. And we don't have these companies with real careers in distribution. In France or in Spain, I see companies with, I don't know, 15, 20 years of experience only in the distribution of short films. And what happened in Latin America? I don't know if we can speak about one or two companies in all the continent with 10 years of experience, only with short films. This is a big problem. And how many people here is working in distribution like his career for the future? Okay, 2. Okay. 2 perfect. But in one of the most important short film festival in Latin America, with this subject for this panel, how is possible 2 or 3 person only for to think in distribution in his career? The rest is producers and filmmakers with the necessity to put his short films in the film festivals. But it's not the real importance for them. This is the big problem.
Yeah, that's a little bit. That's a really tricky part, and you're right. There is very few distributors, and in France, I can name very few companies that have a proper catalog with a number of films that is quite interesting, and I can understand that it's. Quite frightening for you young directors to deal with that issue, and who's going to take care of my film? And you have to learn. You're right, Pedro. You have to work on that, and it can be quite time-consuming for sure. And if nobody tells you little things like you have to clear the rights of, if you are using a song in your film, it needs to be cleared to if you want to sell it to a TV company or something. But if nobody tells you that, how are you gonna know? And there's yeah, I don't know if we can have a proper solution to that question, how to find your way in that jungle. But yeah, working on it, for sure.
I think that because Calmin, of course, comes from France, and France, of course, has a lot of funds for distribution, and it's a country that is way more prepared for that than in Latin America. We were also talking about this yesterday, that it's crazy that we still don't have, until now, from what I know, the fund from Ancine to support international circulation of short films. We don't have it. Rio de Janeiro just opened an edital. Como? O que eles falaram? Yeah, anyway, it opens. Vocês entenderam? They don't, but anyway. Rio abriu edital, opened an edital for films, and there's zero money for short films. It's crazy. As I was saying, I work with shorts and with features. Personally, I prefer shorts. Features are too much complicated. They took too many time to negotiate, to invest. If you don't like a feature film, it's 1.5 hours of your life that it's lost. A short film is only 10 minutes. But more than that, in short films you discover talents, you can experiment. It's a very free format. And we still don't have public support enough as for the format. And we have to talk about this as well. As I was talking about the problem with schools, we have to talk about public funds is two: local, regional, and national, and nationwide. And I think that I was taking some notes yesterday. For example, Jaime was telling that in Colombia they have Proimágenes, that it's like Ancine. They have special digital tools for filmmakers. Correct me if I'm wrong. To learn about distribution and to learn about how to sell your film, how to send your film for festivals or for platforms and etc. For people who don't go to school. We don't have this here, as far as I know, at least a good one. And then that's the result. You send your films to 1,000 film festivals. You don't even know what they mean. You send emails, general email for everyone saying, "Hi, please help, I don't have money." And your film doesn't go anywhere and it dies. And then I know from a lot of people, they just quit cinema because they don't have success on it. It's and it's also difficult for us in our side too, because then we receive 1,000 films that doesn't fit our festivals, and that's it. And also because I think that one of the solutions, not solutions, but something that could also help in the situation is that film festivals also could do their work, sending the selected films to other film festivals. We do that in India. Sometimes we have programmers in other festivals. They ask for films. We send the films that we selected for them, and then the film travels internally as well. I don't know. I completely agree with Jaime in the fact that we don't have big or at least well-known Latin American distribution companies right now in the market. Of course, there are a few people. There are people who are trying to make it happen, but it's also, of course, because of the public fund problem that I was saying. You don't have money for distribution. You don't have a strategy for it. It's sometimes the editais of this word is too much. Sometimes even the editais, they don't ask for distribution strategy. So then you have money to develop your film. You have money to produce your film. You finish your film, but then that's it. What are you going to do about it? So, and then you don't have money to have a sales agent, to have a distributor, to have someone who will actually make your film happen. And yeah, I think it's a whole chain that must be. I don't have solutions for that. I have ideas, but I cannot do this alone. So I don't know.
No, maybe one more thing about that in general is we need more producers with the real conscience about the distribution. It's important. But if I ask every one of here producers or filmmakers, is the distribution important for you? Yes, very important. Okay. But this is represent in your budgets? That this have a representation real in your budgets for the future, for the next project? Or maybe all the money is only for production. And we need to think in distribution, but first we need to shoot. Because the most important is shoot. It's not the most important, because if you don't have audience, you don't have a movie. A movie without audience is not a movie. And this is a very special relation between your words and your actions in the process of production.
Yeah, totally agree with that. And yeah, there's a cost of all of that part that you really have to think since the very beginning of the production process. So yeah.
Okay, so I was going to bring up the public policies and the film schools, but Pedro already covered all of it up. But I would like to come back a little and think with the three of you actually about how a short film can be thought from the beginning to be international. Maybe not all films are meant to be international. Some films are thought to be local, but how can a filmmaker think its short film internationally since the beginning? Tricky question.
I think you need a few tools in your box just to be ready to go international, and having a good translation in English of your of the dialogues of your film is always a good point. To have a good SRT file ready to send, because yeah, the language barrier is something important. And yeah, think of your film of yeah, kind of an object with you need to bring desire in the story, you know, because there is so many films made and so many films sent to festivals. So yeah, you have to have maybe a nice poster can help. Maybe you need to choose wisely the photos of your film that you are sending to the festival to be part of that. And it's little things, but you have to make the difference, because the competition is tough, and you have to think about so many things, distribution, etc. So every little details counts and can make a difference at the end.
Okay, I don't know, but if we think in the general process of making films, it's a communication process, no? In general, it's a communication process. And we have the emissor, the message, and the receiver or the receptor. And all the time, all the people is thinking only in the first part and in the message, the movie, but not how to close the chain. And maybe we need to close this part at the beginning, when we write, when we decide technical details, when we try to build a team, because all the parts of a film have a point of relation with the audience at the end of the process. If you decide some camera, or if you decide write some scene without sex moment, if you decide some type of words, everything have a relation with the process of distribution and the process with the connection with the public. Maybe we need more, again, conscience at the beginning of that. It's not because it's only my story, it's only my idea. It's why is too complex try to think that everything is about the dialogue with the audience. Everything is about this dialogue. It's not the same try to say, okay, you need to make some films for the audience. No. Which is your audience? And maybe at the beginning, one of the question is, which is your idea of success? Because if all the people is trying to go to Cannes, Berlin, Venezia, Clermont, this is one of the problems. Because I think that the selection in a festival is like a magic moment. It's like it's very difficult to have a selection in some festival. But if all the people is thinking about the same film festivals, is the direct building of your frustration, no? And it's like a lottery to make a selection in some festivals, because it's many things in the game, no? The last edition, the relation between genders, woman and men in the direction, and many things. And this is if this is like a win the lottery, because our strategy for the life is to buy the lottery. We need to open the view and try to see the other ways and have more strategies. In Colombia, for example, we have 120 film festivals. Not only Bogoshorts and not only Cartagena. 120 film festivals. And when you try to have these numbers in general in the continent, we have more than 1,000 film festivals. But we are trying to think only in some film festivals, which is our relation with the region, with the language, with the people, with the cultural connection that we need, because it's very different to go to a big city and a small town and a region, and some screen in some part very important for this story. And maybe this is part of the problem. We don't think too much about this audience specifically for us. We try to think in the success to make the next film and the success for the next film, not in our process of communication with the people.
I totally agree with Jaime, but I will also say that, and I also think that the chain problem is here again, because why everyone thinks about Cannes? Because Cannes is the most important film festival in the world, and if you get selected at Cannes, in theory, it would be easier for you to get money to fund your next project. It would be easier to get into a laboratory. It would be easier for everything. So I think that the idea of funding your next project surpasses the idea of finding the audience before. So I think it's also a problem of the chain and of how do we change the chain, the funding issue, helping the circulation, as I was saying before, but also not killing the audience, the strategy of the audience, and making your film finding the best festival. Because I was talking about this the other day. Okay, you want your film in Cannes, right? But maybe Cannes will not be the best film festival for your film. Maybe your film will be completely lost there in the middle of all the other ones. And then if you go to a smaller festival, another one, your film will find their audience, will find their way. And we also have to have this in mind, like, because filmmaking in the basis of filmmaking is storytelling. You're telling a story. So what are you telling for whom? And I think that I have some problems with the idea of thinking where you want to have your film since the beginning, even before the development. I don't think it should be the first thing. I think you have to put some other things before. But I totally agree with both of them when we say that you have to have an idea of where you're gonna get, where you're bringing this project to, where you want to go, which festival, which audience. This has to be before the production. Otherwise, I think it's gonna be already a lost path too. I don't know.
And one more thing. And the process of investigation about festivals. How many people see at least the 50% of selection of Clermont-Ferrand of last year, this year, in February? Or maybe in the 50% of selection of Bogoshorts? Or maybe in IndieLisboa. But the people speak with us my short film is for Bogoshorts. But if you don't know what is for Bogoshorts and what is for Clermont, and this part is very important because the people don't have research about what is the criterial process of curation process of each festival. Okay.
Yeah, but I can understand that, but it's so subjective, you know, and even if you, I'm totally. I cannot say what kind of films we want good films. We want to be the first to screen the best one. Yeah, but it's very hard for me to express something else than that. So I know I'm not going to answer a lot of your questions saying that, but yeah, that's a tricky one.
I was thinking to open for questions from the audience. Do you think you have something to say before, or maybe we can open? Yeah.
Gente, pergunta, não depoimento, não participação, nenhuma tese de TCC. São 3 pessoas maravilhosas aqui. The translator is okay? In English? Ok. São 3 pessoas maravilhosas aqui porque vocês podem aproveitar e perguntar o que vai agregar nessa palestra, tá? Ou seja, como internacionalizar o curta-metragem, tá? Sem statement, sem depoimentos, sem participação. Vamos aproveitar a participação dessas 3 pessoas ótimas aqui. Tá saindo em inglês? Então tá bom.
Oi, boa noite. Sou Edson Lemos, realizador. Estou com um filme aqui no fórum como co-diretor. Vou fazer a pergunta, me antecipei, porque a partir dessas respostas eu vou correr para a sessão do meu filme no Cine Sesc. Espero que dê tempo. Então vou ser direto. Tenho muita confiança do meu filme, da sua mensagem, da sua potência e da sua defesa. O que mais eu posso me preocupar enquanto estratégia? Seja algo fora do filme, contexto histórico, biografia do realizador, se isso influi ou não. É basicamente isso.
Okay. Yeah. You. Okay. No, I think your first thought is the good one. If you trust your film, that's the main part. You need to be true to that. You need to, if you're good with your film, you're good to go. You have to. You have to believe in you, and you have to be bold, and if you're ready to go for it. I don't have any more advice to what kind of film you have to send. We are all open to all kind of genre, all kind of films. So go for it.
Eu respondo em português ou... Eu vou falar um pouco de português, então. Não, eu concordo com o Calmin. Eu acho que, tipo assim, não... Eu recebo muito e-mail de realizador do Brasil explicando, falando o contexto, falando de onde vem o filme, por que o contexto histórico, o contexto social, por que tal filme é isso, filme é aquilo. Eu recebo isso semanalmente e isso não influencia em nada. Claro que é muito importante saber, depois às vezes o filme é selecionado, eu já tenho aquele histórico, eu compartilho com o comitê de seleção. Claro que isso é importante para a gente também pensar depois, às vezes montar a grelha de programação, montar os programas, como que isso pode comunicar de uma certa forma. Mas o que interessa no fim é o filme. o importante é que você tem que saber contar a sua história. E eu acho que isso pode até ser meio decepcionante, né? Porque às vezes, se eu mandar aqui alguma coisa, vai influenciar. Pelo menos assim, do que eu conheço, do que eu faço, do que eu trabalho, não influencia nada. Eu acho que assim, o que você pode sempre trabalhar é uma comunicação boa, que tem a ver com o que a gente estava falando antes. Um press kit é sempre muito bom, ter um press kit massa, interessante. Isso mais para o mercado até porque na hora de enviar para a seleção. Assim, você tendo a oportunidade de participar de mercados, como aqui no Kinofórum, como em outros festivais, acho que o Curta Cinema também tem mercado e tudo. Vá, se tiver a oportunidade, vá, converse. Esse meio, assim como qualquer outro, é networking. É conversar, explicar. É nessas horas que você vai falar do seu filme e você vai contar a história, você vai fazer um pequeno pitch ali. Enviar um e-mail na hora que o filme já estiver pronto, do que eu vejo, não influencia em nada. Não sei o que o Jaime acha.
Maybe only one thing about that, because it's a big question. Maybe the most important thing is not what we are looking for. The most important thing is what you are looking for. And this is maybe the real problem, because when you have this clear idea of which is my film, why I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to say, maybe at this moment you can find ways. The ways is not, or the form to find the ways is not asking what we need to find, because I don't know what I need to find every year. I need to have a special connection with some story, but it's not about if it's historical or biographical or if it's about some subject. It's about, this is very complex because it's a very bad answer, but it's about quality and feelings and this connection. And this is the miracle. Okay.
Agora vai ver se vai te dar um wave.
Already done.
Boa tarde, eu sou o Darwin, sou produtor aqui de São Paulo. A gente falou muito aqui sobre público, sobre curta-metragens e público. Como que um curta-metragista vai pensar no seu público, sendo que existe algo entre o seu público e a sua obra, que é o curador? Como pensar isso, né? Então, o curta-metragista ele vai pensar o público do filme dele, mas antes de chegar no público dele, ele tem um atravessador, que é o curador. Como a gente pensa nisso?
Acho que encaixa um pouco no que a gente estava falando de saber para que tipo de festival você vai mandar, assim. Por exemplo, claro, todos os festivais que estão aqui são generalistas, em teoria aceitam filmes de todos os gêneros e enfim, quase todas as durações e de todas as regiões e tudo. O Indie especificamente, como eu falei, e Clermont-Ferrand está nisso também, tem esse problema da cota de filmes europeus. 50% dos filmes que são selecionados no festival têm que ser europeus e portugueses não contam. Porque... E a mesma coisa lá, a França também não conta. Então, tem essa coisa. Então, isso é um problema que nem ultrapassa o curador. Tá? É um problema que já está na base do festival. Eu acho que, tipo assim, claro, de novo, todos os festivais aqui são generalistas, aceitam em tese todos os tipos de filmes. mas não é tão bem assim também. O tipo de documentário, enfim, é uma coisa muito subjetiva, não é uma coisa clara, não é uma coisa que tipo você vai bater o olho na seleção do IndieLisboa, você vai entender, entendi, esse é o tipo de filme e tal. Não é, a gente seleciona, vem mais da essência do filme, de como é que ele se comunica com a seleção geral também. Mas tem filmes que você vê que absolutamente não tem nada a ver com o festival, assim. E a gente recebeu, enfim, um documentário super clássico sobre uma coisa, enfim, um tema muito local e tudo, que claramente não fazia sentido na seleção. Eu acho que parte também daí, assim. Eu acho que tem entender um pouco também a natureza do festival. Não é uma pergunta fácil, eu não sei te responder claramente, nem como programador, nem como diretor, mas eu acho que talvez esteja por aí, esse estudo de onde você está colocando seu filme, assim. Claro que tem festivais que são mais claros, festival de cinema ambiental, aí você vai e manda um filme de terror que não tem absolutamente nada a ver, pronto. Isso acontece. As pessoas mandam, apenas clicam lá no Film Freeway e mandam e ainda paga por isso, em dólar. Então, eu acho que, enfim, passa por aí, mas o resto é meio subjetivo.
Maybe about that, I think is one of the problems is to think too much about the festival. Because this panel is about the internationalization of short films, of the process to find another audience and publics in other countries, yes, but the answer is not only the festivals. Maybe we need to think more about other strategies, but other relation, because it's not, if we have the answer only in the festivals, we have a bad moment. Because the festival is not a good way to resolve that, because this is for a cinematography, and the festivals is part of the answer, but it's not all the answer. And for that reason, for me, it's not the questions with the audience, it's not about the relation with the curators, because it's put the problem is in a small box. The problem is in a relation with the public institutions. It's in a relation with schools. It's in a relations with many other things, because this is only one part of the connection with the public.
For me, I don't think that's really your problem, how to find an audience. That's our problem. So you have to be true to your film and don't really think about how try to please the curator or to that's yeah. Do your film. That's the most important part of the for me of the whole process. If you think too much, oh, this film is gonna go to Cannes. It's so Cannes. No, it's not going to work like that. So just do your film. Try the right connection with the director. Build something nice and beautiful together, and yeah, we take care of the rest.
Oi, tudo bem? Eu tenho uma pergunta sobre estratégia. Por exemplo, se eu estou pesquisando sobre os festivais e vejo que 1 ano ou 2 anos atrás teve um filme com a mesma temática do meu. Por exemplo, eu tenho um filme que é um documentário de busca familiar. Se eu vejo que o IndieLisboa teve um documentário, um documentário de short, curta, no ano passado com a mesma temática. Isso é bom ou isso é ruim? Porque será que vai ser repetido o meu filme porque tem a mesma temática, então talvez seja melhor não apostar nesse festival? Ou talvez os curadores e o público se interessem por essa temática? Enfim, isso influencia ou não no pensamento da estratégia?
your name. So
Ela só olhou para mim. Não é algo que... A gente recebe filmes de mesmas temáticas todos os anos. Enfim, sempre vai ter um documentário, um filme parecido com o seu. Isso não é um problema. Cada filme é muito singular. Não é por aí, assim. Definitivamente não é por aí a estratégia. Acho que a estratégia ela é muito mais... entender, por exemplo... Portugal tem o Indie e tem 1 milhão de festivais, mas assim, digamos que seu filme é uma ficção de 15 minutos. Seu filme ele é elegível para o IndieLisboa e para o Curtas Vila do Conde, que é o nosso festival inimigo. A gente é amigo, tá? É verdade. Tô brincando. Mas a gente batalha por filmes. Às vezes você vai querer muito que o indie seja sua primeira opção. Mas o indie não passou, então eu vou tentar o outro depois. Eu acho que a estratégia, eu pensaria mais por aí, assim. Tem o plano A, B, C, por país, por região. Se não rolou esse, eu vou fazer o outro. Eu acho que é mais uma ideia assim, nesse sentido, que, de novo, é mais um trabalho de distribuidor que vai conhecer melhor os festivais, que vai entender exatamente para onde que pode ser, que às vezes, eu não vou ser tão inocente igual o Calmin, não, é verdade, tem distribuidor que conhece, produtor que conhece, curador, e claro que no fundo às vezes pode ajudar uma coisinha ou outra, se mandar um e-mail, às vezes o filme chega tarde, acaba podendo ser visto com uma maior atenção. Isso acontece, vamos ser honestos, acontece. Isso acontece em todo mundo aqui trabalha com alguma coisa que vai fazer parecido. Então, mas não é por aí, é o filme. É o filme e, enfim, acho que é isso.
About this specific idea of the subject, if it's good or bad, it's not real to have one answer. Because could be bad in some festivals and could be good in other ones. And maybe the questions about all these components, because it's many components. Maybe you have a short film with 15 minutes, is very different if you have with 12 minutes. These 3 minutes could be the difference because it's too much for the program or because it's not enough for this program. For that reason, it's complicated to think in that direction. You need to do the best for your short, the best for your short. Like you say, I like that is because this is not your problem. This is our problem in the process of programming, and in some moments I think it's like you make this question: is most important to have a good sound? Or to have a good script, of to have a good photography, of to have a good... You need to do everything for everything. The best way for everything. Because it's the only possibility in this game. With the numbers of Clermont-Ferrand and Cannes Short Film Corner and Shorts Tokyo, maybe, or numbers, in general, I think that maybe we have 20,000 short films per year in the world. 20,000 short films per year in the world, trying to find the same places, making the same questions. It's not about the festivals. It's about your work with your short.
I think what you say is extremely important about the choices that you have to make. For me, it's the most important thing. You have, for example, find the proper duration for your film, and sometimes you have to cut. So your film, maybe it's 2 minutes. That's the perfect duration. Oh, it's 25, and you have to make bold choices. You have to make tough decision, but don't think about the, oh, okay. Of course, if your film is 15 or less, it's easier for most of the film festival to add your film in the selection. But is it a good idea for your film? So make the right choice for your film. So.
Eu quero só acrescentar uma coisa na estratégia que você tem os festivais, por exemplo, o Indie acabou de abrir o Call for Entries dele em julho, foi agora, tem um pouco mais de um mês, e fica aberto até dezembro. Eu posso te falar com maior certeza, 40% das inscrições vai chegar do dia 19 de dezembro, que é o último dia. Não faça isso. Essa hora a gente já tem filmes, a gente já tem uma seleção, a gente já tem filmes selecionados, e isso acaba guiando já um pouco para onde que a gente vai. Às vezes vai ter um documentário, igual você estava falando, o estilo do seu, às vezes não vai ser brasileiro, mas vai ser de outro lugar, vai ter tomado seu lugar. Vai ser tarde. Então eu acho que a parte da estratégia passa por aí também do tempo de quando que você vai enviar seu filme. Particularmente eu fico muito na dúvida também se enviar no início é algo que eu acho que o meio ali, início para o meio, talvez, pelo menos para a gente, é uma boa época, assim, porque ainda não tem nada muito definido, mas também ainda não tem nada muito... Mas eu acho que você tem que pensar nisso. Eu tinha mais alguma coisa para falar? Esqueci, depois eu lembro.
Oi, boa noite. Sei que horas são, não lembro. Meu nome é Raíssa Castor, sou diretora e roteirista do Meu Pedaço de Mandioca. A minha pergunta, eu acho que vai um pouco nesse lugar do que vocês estavam comentando. Infelizmente, eu sou a minha própria distribuidora, acho que muitos realizadores acabam sendo. Então, tento me organizar para fazer uma boa seleção, principalmente para festivais internacionais que são caros para a gente. Então, assim, quando eu consigo parar e inscrever filme, eu me sinto uma vitoriosa. E daí vem a pergunta: festivais muito grandes, existe esse mito de que são tantos curtas, tal qual você também falou, vocês conseguem assistir todos? Porque eu fico pensando se essa parte do network, da comunicação, também é uma coisa muito necessária. Vale investir mais em tentar achar um distribuidor ou realmente conseguir ali minha meia horinha para conseguir sair inscrevendo nos festivais que me importam, já é uma coisa muito boa. Porque eu fico nessa dúvida, eu falo, meu Deus, tanto filme, será que eles assistem? Ou sou só mais um filme ali jogado, né? Muito obrigada. Mas é isso, obrigada.
Yeah, we do watch all the film, and in Clermont we are quite lucky because we are quite a big team. So there is at least 2 people watching each of the film, and there is a kind of a selection process during the whole submission process, and yeah, don't worry about that. We watched the film, but just to say about what Pedro, just a few words about when submit your film. Yeah, I quite agree with you. Quite somewhere in the middle is not bad. Definitely not. It's not an idea to wait for the very end and to say, okay, the last surprise. No, that's not a good point. Early birds could be interesting, but let's say if you're ready, just submit the film and yeah.
Maybe it's the same, but one of the reasons for me is it's important the fees of the festival is because it's necessary to pay all these people. And we have at this moment 25 persons at the selection committee. And somebody speak to me, oh, I sent my film. And I wait for you to see maybe I don't see your film. Maybe I don't see your film, maybe. But somebody and at least 2 persons in the festival see your film. And 2 persons decide is we need to put this film in another stage for the selection process, or it's only one stage and no more. But for me, this is one of the most important things, really, because we don't have we have a very strong responsibility, and for that reason, it's important who is the people who select the films in our festival. It's not some unclear committee. No, it's I need to put these photographs in the catalog because for all the people see these persons because they select some short films. And in some moments, I try to put some ideas of your head or some movies, or every year try to put everything different because maybe you can see this page in Bogoshorts and I don't like this idea and don't like that. I don't send my film to Bogoshorts because this is important.
A gente vê também, não se preocupe. Nós somos diferente, assim, a gente é uma equipe menor, nós somos 8 no Indie. E eu gosto sempre de falar, cada um assiste por volta de 800 filmes por ano. Então imagina encontrar 50 filmes para competição, 50 não, 30 filmes para competição internacional no meio de milhares, assim. Só que o Indie tem uma coisa, assim, a gente só seleciona, um filme só entra no festival quando ele tem 5 de 8 votos no mínimo. Somos 8 comitê, se tiver 5 votos, o filme entra, se tiver 4, não entra. Então todo mundo vai assistir seu filme eventualmente. Pode ser, às vezes, o seu filme vai chegar para mim primeiro, eu vou fazer uma filtragem, e só depois de levar para a reunião é que todo mundo vai assistir e vai debater seu filme. Todos os filmes que entram no festival são debatidos. Eu ia falar antes, que eu tinha esquecido, da questão de estratégia ainda, que eu não queria deixar de esquecer, é que tem alguns festivais que às vezes trabalham com tema. Assim. Eu penso agora, por exemplo, no Festival de Hamburgo, de curtas. É um ótimo festival, um festival muito legal, e que ele trabalha com tema. Esse ano o tema era Provocation of Love. E toda a seleção ela foi pensada em torno disso. Pro ano que vem, se eu não me engano, o tema é 3. Número 3. Às vezes seu filme tem tudo a ver. Vai ser um filme sobre uma homenagem. Manda para eles, tem tudo a ver, assim. Então, eu acho que também tentar entender os festivais, como é que é mais a seleção e como é que funciona nesse sentido, assim. Às vezes vai ter tudo a ver.
Tudo bem, é rápido. Boa noite, obrigado. Eu acho que as pessoas querem ver os seus filmes aí aqui, em IndieLisboa, em Bogoshorts, em Clermont, porque esses festivais são atraentes, né? Eles são atrativos. E aí, Jaime falou que só na Colômbia há 102 festivais. Aí eu queria perguntar a vocês o seguinte, o que é que se pode fazer, o que um festival deve fazer para se tornar mais atraente, né? É buscando fundos aí do governo para pagar bem pelo filme vencedor, pelos vencedores, ou existem outras formas, outras estratégias?
Because it's more reasons that only the prices of. For me, for example, in Colombia, we have in some small town, Santa Fe de Antioquia, very near to Medellin, one festival with 25, 27 years old, and it's a festival who have the screens in the streets, and all the people of this town take the chair from his home and put in the middle of the street to have a relation with the shorts, not only with the short, with the feature films. For me, this festival is very important for the relation of the people with the movies. And it doesn't matter if it's a short film, if the people like this short film, all the week, this director could be a star in this town. And for me, this is important. It's more important than other types of prices or other things. And because, yes, I think it's necessary to try to find good experience in the festivals. Other festivals is because you have the possibility to know other filmmakers in some region in particular. And this is part of the strategy, because if you have a new short films for to speak about, I don't know, Amazonas, maybe it's necessary try to go to the festivals very near to these regions for to have a connection with these people. And the idea of why you make these decisions is for many other things. And maybe one of the problems in Colombia, but I think I see that in Mexico too, is we are in the worst moment for the distribution of our own movies in our countries. I don't know what happened in Brazil at this moment with your films, but for example, in Colombia, we have the last year 80 feature films. In 2003, we have 2 or 3 feature films per year. 20 years later, we have 80 feature films at the screens. But it's the worst moment for the audience and the relation with the public. And for that reason, every big and middle city try to have a festival, because the people need to have some connection with these movies. But it's not the big audience. It's some audience only for a festival. And in some moments, the only way, the unique opportunity to see the Colombian short films is in the festivals, because these films don't have any opportunity in the commercial venues. And it's many other things.
I don't know if I'm gonna answer properly your question, but for a festival like Clermont, even if we are quite a huge machine with a lot of people working during the festival, a lot of volunteers, but still we have to fight for maintain our fundings, and it's something that we can do because the team is quite big for a short film festival. There is 21 people working full-time for the Clermont-Ferrand Short Film Festival. And that's pretty big, because most of the festival don't have this kind of people working for them. But it's because of that we can fight for a budget for fundings, and the idea is always the same: to have the best quality of screenings, to have the best way of having the audience in the theater, because we own that to the directors, because you have done your job, we need to do our job too, and that's what we try to do.
Vou ser bem breve, mas eu acho que tem, claro, tem que ter uma preocupação, claro, com a projeção, porque o festival, enfim, o festival de cinema, você tem que preocupar com ter uma boa projeção, você se preocupar com a sala. Não precisa ser nenhuma sala de cinema, assim. O próprio Festival de Hamburgo, que eu acabei de comentar, é um festival que cria tem uma sala de cinema que foi criada pelo festival dentro de um galpão de um antigo correio, que eles colocaram um monte de sofás e criaram uma sala de cinema ali, e é incrível, e a projeção é incrível, a experiência é incrível. Eu acho que você tem que ser inventivo às vezes também. O Indie roubou uma ideia de Clermont-Ferrand de fazer o cinema na piscina, estava no vídeo que inclusive que a gente passou, e é um absoluto sucesso. É o que mais, as sessões que mais vendem. Então às vezes também sai um pouco da caixa, pensar tipo formas de atrair o público, não sei, ser inventivo mesmo, apostar em algo diferente. Acho que festival, a essência do curta é a experimentação e é o risco, e eu acho que festivais de cinema também deveriam, pelo menos, apostar no risco. Acho que a Zita apostou muito no risco, assim, o tempo inteiro.
Bom, temos que terminar, pessoal. I would like to thank you, my friends, e toda a plateia também. Ó, tô trocando rápido já. E obrigado a todos, gente, incrível. E tem alguma...
Eu acho que tem bastante filme para assistir. A gente ficaria aqui horas, mas é que 6 horas tem uma sessão aqui, então a gente tem que liberar a sala. Muito obrigada pela presença de vocês. Tem filme aqui, tem filme em todos os lugares. Eles continuam aqui. Eles 3 vão estar aqui na quinta-feira para a rodada de negócios. As reuniões estão já lotadas, mas às vezes alguma pessoa não pode vir, apareçam, venham. Quinta-feira de manhã tem pitching dos laboratórios. Quinta-feira à tarde eles estão aqui, são pessoas super queridas. Muito obrigada por vocês estarem aqui. Thank you very much for you guys.